Hello again, welcome. So I'm Laura Lee Humphreys with Faces of Freedom, and this is the next video in our series talking about all the nasty, harmful chemicals and products that make you ill. So we've got a few more to go through on this laundry list of toxic, nasty chemicals, and I will complete that list in this video today, and then the next video I will start going in giving you the alternatives, things that you've been waiting for patiently as I go through this list of nasty stuff with all these videos. So just hold tight. This is the last video of these harmful ingredients and where you find them, and then the next video then we'll give you some solutions. Okay? All right, so let's dive right in. We've got a few to go through, and then we'll be done with this portion of this video series. Okay? All right, so the first chemical that we're going to talk about today is musk. And this is a synthetic fragrance. It's in a popular perfume aroma. A lot of people like it, some don't. But what this is it's currently a synthetic, but it wasn't always that way. It used to be a compound made or taken from male musk deer and it got so bad that the population of these deer were almost completely wiped out. So they decided we should probably make a synthetic kind so we don't kill all the deer, which, you know, that practice in and of itself of wiping out an animal population just so you can extract a compound out of it for your cosmetics things. I mean, that to me is highly questionable ethically, morally, environmentally, as to why you would damage, abuse, kill animals just for that purpose. But that's another conversation. But it is something to consider. It's like, why would you damage a deer, an animal, just so that you can get a chemical that it makes? Okay, so musk. So now it's a synthetic chemical and it's found just about everywhere. It's very popular in perfume, and it's used to stabilize the chemicals that they make to give it the aroma or the perfume, the scent, which, as we've talked about before, those in it themselves are highly toxic and not very good things for you. So they have those compounds to make the aroma, and then they mix it with the synthetic musk to help stabilize the aroma. Okay. And this is also a very dangerous compound, and it is a known xenoestrogen, which, as we've mentioned before in this series, xenoestrogens are horrific. They mimic estrogen and in your body, and so when you have the estrogen your body makes plus the xenoestrogens that come in through your food, through cosmetics, chemicals like musk and many of the other things we've talked about, you have an onslaught of fake estrogens coming into your body that mimic what natural estrogen does. And so that's going to throw off the whole, everything that the estrogen governs as far as the functioning. It throws off your whole hormones or endocrine system. And when there's too much of that for too long, then as we know, is one of the contributing factors to a lot of cancers. So we want to take out the xenoestrogens as much as possible. And using fake perfumes, as I call them, or perfumes that are made where the aroma or scent is made with synthetic chemicals, then that's one of the first things that we can get rid of. They're highly irritating to the skin as well as to the nose, the sense of smell. And they mess up the estrogen in our bodies. So, nasty stuff. We don't want to use this stuff. You can use other things to make yourself smell nice, or just clean yourself from the inside out using a proper healthy diet so that you don't stink to begin with. All right. Okay, so synthetic musk compounds are extremely toxic, as I mentioned. They cause genetic damage, not just the estrogen damage, hormone damage, but genetic DNA damage. And they're linked to reproductive and fertility problems, testicular cancer in men, breast and uterine cancer in women, again, as a direct result of being a xenoestrogen. They're found in human fat and breast milk. Not something you want to be feeding your baby. And this is much, much higher now than it was, say, 10, 20, 30 years ago when they tested for it. And it's very damaging to animals and aquatic life, everything that plants, animals, microorganisms that live in the waterways. It absorbs very quickly through the skin in these animals, and it causes problems for them, just like they cause for us. So, Musk, stay away from that. Or even just any fake scent, fake perfumes. Period. Find something else to use that's healthy, that adds to your body's functioning rather than takes away from it. Okay, so this next batch of chemicals, they're called organochlorines. And organochlorines are used to manufacture herbicides and detergents, including those present in the production of spermicidal foam and lubricants. So anytime you're using that, then you're exposing yourself to these organochlorines, which are very dangerous. They are petrochemicals, again, made from petroleum. And they are known as, which you'll see them on labels, as polychlorinated biphenyls, or PCBs. Falls under this family of organochlorines. You'll also see it in PVC plastic and paper. So, because of their use not only for personal care products, but for all kinds of other plastics and paper products, they are everywhere. Everywhere, everywhere. And Greenpeace, an organization that studies a lot of these chemicals, found that in North America, 13 tons of this organochlorine compound was made every year. Tons. Can't even comprehend that amount of chemical. But that's a lot of chemical to be throwing out into the environment, into our food, into plastics, into people, and then we wonder why we're sick. Okay, so what does this do? Okay, part of this 13 tons goes into our drinking water, again with the idea of sanitizing it, and I promise you there's other things we can do instead of chemical poisoning ourselves to get clean water. And the rest of it is used in the production of plastics, bleached paper products, for many, many, many uses, both industrial and agricultural uses. So think about this. Used to bleach paper, which in the production of paper industries, books, papers, everything that we use paper for, then that's going to be part of that production. And when you have like sanitary napkins, panty liners, tampons, the compounds in them that bleach them white are these organochlorines, or PCBs. And then you wonder why you have irritation. Okay, so there's a direct association between organochlorines and breast cancer. Again, they mimic estrogen, just like the Musk we talked about. Estrogen mimickers, xenoestrogens, very, very dangerous, very, very disruptive to your endocrine system, your hormones, especially estrogen. So what happens is when you've got, with the cell, each cell, there's the little skin on the cell, and there's a little like keyhole or receptor sites. And so chemicals will come into that little keyhole, kind of like a lock and key. So the chemical acts as the key, and it unlocks the receptor sites to enter into the cell. And so once these organochlorines that are mimicking estrogen get into the cell, then they disrupt the cell's growth and division. So the chemical structure of this compound is similar to estrogen's chemical makeup. And so when it docks on this little receptor site, then it fits like a lock and key, and then the cell opens up and it goes in. not something you want to have. So this particular xenoestrogen, if it's not bad enough, here's what makes it even worse. It exaggerates the carcinogenic effects of radiation and can increase breast cancer risk by many times for those women who are subjected to prenatal exposure to these substances. Okay, so if you're pregnant, think about all the different things that you're going to be exposed to. You've got the mammogram, what's it called? When you go in to have the scan to see what the sex is of your baby, that exposes you to radiation. Your cell phone, your electronics, anytime you have to go through the airport and you go through those body scanners, or into government buildings, now they have all those body scanners. So every time you're having to go through those, or even having x-rays done, you're exposing yourself to radiation. And so that's everywhere. And then you've got these organochlorines mimicking estrogen, which are everywhere in plastics, and they make the effects of radiation that much more severe. Okay, so this is just a lot of nasty stuff that it is overwhelming, and it is really kind of hard to mitigate or stay away from because it's so pervasive in our environment. But I encourage you, just do the best you can. Find ways of skirting what you can do, getting away around things, of not exposing yourself to radiation any more than you have to, and minimize this as much as you can. One of the biggest things you can do is through your diet, cleansing, detoxifying your body to help rid itself of all of this toxic load, this toxic buildup. That's another conversation, which we can always do, but that's the biggest thing you can do to eliminate this is just detoxing and cleansing your body. And there's many, many ways you can do that. Okay, this next compound I'm going to talk about, it's called Bisphenol-A, and I may have touched on this before. When I talked about phthalates in another video, those are just very, very toxic compound. And when those phthalates are combined with this Bisphenol-A, or BPA, then you've got a disaster. And BPA, as we know, is used everywhere in plastics again. Food containers, plastic dinnerware, plastic cups, water bottles, toys, eyeglass lenses, auto parts, CDs, keyboards, a lot of different things that have plastics in them. And one of the biggest known places for them are the really cheap, thin plastic water bottles. And you can see on the label of higher quality, thicker water bottles, they'll say that they don't have BPA in them. So what happens with this compound, it's very toxic, and so you have this water bottle, especially if it's sitting in the sun, in the heat in your car in the summertime, then the Bisphenol-A or the BPA is going to leach into the water or whatever you have in your water bottle, and then you're going to drink it, and then you get this compound in you, and it causes problems. Again, just touching it, being around it, off-gassing, smelling it, so it's not good. Exposure to this primarily happens, again, when we eat foods that come in contact with this chemical, again, through the plastics. So get rid of your plastic silverware, your plastic dishes, go for ceramics, for glass, for higher quality dishes in your kitchen. And don't use these really thin, flimsy, BPA-infused water bottles that you get in the grocery store. It's highly toxic to animals, interfering with brain function, reproductive organ development, again. With humans, then there's a possible association between BPA and heart disease. And it's just so extremely toxic, possible carcinogenic. And what this does to the environment and the animals in it is that BPA alters the epigenetic programming. Okay, what does that mean? The way the genes are read and the instructions that the genes give the cells on how to function and reproduce. So when that messaging and information is disrupted and messed with because of BPA, then the genes don't function right. And so that results in a lot of problems later on in life. Things like changes in the prostate, the breast, the testes, the mammary glands, reproductive organs, the body size, brain structure and chemistry and behavior in animals. So if it's doing that in animals, then you know it's not going to be that good for us. In fact, it could be doing very similar things as well. All right, so nasty things. Okay, so the next little chunk here that I want to cover, and this may surprise you. It actually kind of surprised me when I first discovered it. And that is something called greenwashing. So we have a lot of other brands of cleaners, soaps, laundry detergents that have come out that's saying that they're green or environmentally friendly or they're non-toxic or something. However, don't always believe the labels. In 2013, the Environmental Working Group released something that they had been working on, and it was very shocking to find. Again, more about the chemicals in common household products. And they referred to this as the Hall of Shame, because there are hundreds of cleaners that are hyped and marketed and had all this marketing spin put on them as being green or natural, as an alternative to all these other nasty brands that have horrible compounds in them. But their ingredients are no cleaner than the other brands that they're trying to say that they're better than. Their ingredients can also inflict serious harm on their users. Okay? Many of these toxic products present severe risks to children who may ingest them and breathe their fumes. Why would you want to do this to your children? So, really look at and do some research into what you're using. Just because they have safe, non-toxic, and green on the label does not mean that they are. And that practice is called greenwashing. So, let's see what some of these greenwashed chemicals are that are in cleaners. A lot of them I've talked about before, so I'll just do a real brief reiteration again. So, all-purpose cleaners. 2-butylxanthonol. Lovely name. I'll spell that one. It's a 2, the number 2, and then the dash. BUTOZYETHANOL. This is a solvent that is absorbed through the skin, damages your red blood cells, and irritates the eyes. And there's also some of these greenwashed chemicals are a blend of alcohol ethoxylate surfactants, which to make things sudsy and blend. Again, these aren't necessarily disclosed by the manufacturer because they are called trade secrets, but in Europe, then these chemicals are banned. You can find more about those particular things in the Environmental Working Group's website. They do a lot of studies about this stuff. So beware of greenwashing and really look at your laundry detergents and household cleaners to find out what's truly in them. And if you don't know, then leave it on the shelf. You can also make your own. Okay, so this next little section is I want to talk about an overview of bathrooms in general. So they are really one of the most toxic rooms in your house because of all of the stuff that's in them. Not just cosmetics, shampoo, conditioner, body lotion, body wash, hand soap, everything that we use for our personal care, but also things to clean the bathroom with. So, a lot of poisonous, carcinogenic ingredients live and crawl in your bathroom. Your toothpaste, your shampoo, mouthwash, shaving cream, moisturizers, everything. Most of them contain harmful chemicals. So you're slathering that stuff on your body using like from 12 different products. And in those products, there's numerous ingredients. I saw a study, wrote about it, how the average woman, and I think this was put out by the Environmental Working Group, the average woman puts about 300 toxic chemicals on her body a day. 80 of them are before breakfast from what she's doing in her bathroom to get ready for the day. So think about this. Day in, day out, 80 plus things on your face, on your body before breakfast. 300 a day. And then you wonder why you are sick. I mean, here you go. Okay, a lot of these penetrate the skin very quickly. They build up in the organs and fatty tissues, and it's hard to eliminate, and they cause problems. They wreak havoc on your endocrine system, as we've talked about so many times. So, typical things found in your bathroom. Aluminum, heavy metal, contributes to Alzheimer's. It's found predominantly or very commonly in your deodorant, clogs your pores, messes up your lymph system. Heavy metal is not good for you. It's also used in aircraft components. Why would you want that in your deodorant? Prosthetic devices. It's in antiperspirants, antacids, antiseptics, and it's known to link to Alzheimer's. Okay, another common ingredient is animal fat or tallow. Again, why would you want animal substances on your face? That's just gross. Not to mention the cruelty of treatment of animals that they have to endure just to extract this stuff out of them, out of their bodies. So this is a type of animal tissue that's made of oily solids or semi-solids that are water insoluble esters, so they don't break down in water. Of glycerol with fatty acids. And that is also, animal fat is often mixed with lye, which we've talked about in other videos, which is extremely corrosive and irritating. Animal fats and lye are some of the chief ingredients in bar soap. And it's a cleansing and emulsifying product that can act as a breeding ground for bacteria. So that will shorten the shelf life of a product, helping it grow bacteria. So again, why would you want animal products even in or animal substances and fat in your products? Okay, another compound commonly found in your bathroom and in your makeup is called propylene glycol, something we've mentioned before in an earlier video. And this is a cosmetic form of mineral oil, which again we've talked about, that's from petroleum. It's used in automatic brake and hydraulic fluid, industrial antifreeze. Why would you want that on your skin? It's in skin and hair care products, and it works as a humectant, which is something that holds the moisture in. This is why they use it. However, you can use something else to hold moisture in rather than antifreeze. It's in mascara and a lot of cosmetics to keep the moisture from escaping. The material safety data sheets that manufacturers have to put out, or MSDS sheets, talk about how propylene glycol is irritating to the skin, so you need to avoid contact with it. And it can cause liver abnormalities and kidney damage. All right, another nasty thing found in your bathroom And this is prevalent again, like so many of them are. Its acronym is SLS, known as sodium lauryl sulfate. Horrible, horrible thing. It's a harsh detergent and wetting agent used in garage floor cleaners, engine degreasers, automatic cleaning products, and it's also in your toothpaste and in your soaps and shampoos. Why do you need such a strong, harsh degreaser to wash your face with? It's a very commonly known skin irritant. It's rapidly absorbed through the skin and the eyes. It's absorbed through the skin, but it's retained. It accumulates near the eyes, the brain, the heart, and liver, creating toxic load there in those organs, which impair their function. Then you don't function right. SLS could retard or slow down healing of anything, cause and contribute to cataracts where it accumulates in the eyes, and keeps children's eyes from developing properly. So, do you want to have glasses for your children and pay for them for years? Maybe look at this. Okay, so that's some of the nasty things in bathrooms. Okay, so this last little section on this video I want to share with you is talking about your laundry detergents. So you can ask yourself, are your clothes really actually clean? Or have they just been subjected to this watery soup of chemical soup in your washer, your dryer, that just stay on your clothes and create other problems? Even when you go to the laundromat, the chemical residue that stays on your clothes, especially from the dry cleaning chemicals like we talked about in a previous video, that will off-gas into the air. You breathe the fumes of them. The chemicals will stay on your clothes. If you've experienced a lot of irritation, itchiness, skin rashes, and redness, and you wonder why, look at your laundry detergent, as well as your body soap, your body lotions. And most likely, if you were to switch out your laundry detergent, don't be surprised if your skin irritation goes away because of the stuff that is on your clothes after the wash cycle is done. Most laundry detergents contain a toxic brew of chemicals that leave, again, residues on your skin. You breathe them in, you absorb them into your skin. Dryer sheets are not immune to this. They're one of the worst. They coat your clothes with more of a layer of toxic chemicals. So you've got that from your laundry detergent. Now you get a second layer with your dryer sheet. And then when you wear those clothes, and your body moisture and natural sweating causes these chemicals to come in contact with your skin, and then they are absorbed into your blood. It's a very easy way to poison yourself with cancer-causing chemicals, unbeknownst to you. So let's look at your laundry detergent and switch it out if it's toxic, which many of them are. Additionally, your whole laundry room is very toxic with all of these chemicals that are sitting in there off-gassing, and then you wonder why when you go in your laundry room, your eyes start watering, or you start sneezing, you smell all the toxic stuff. So air out your laundry room and clean it out. Remove some of this stuff from time to time. You know what they used to do back in the day is they would have fresh laundry because it was dried outside, and they would put rosemary and lavender on it to make it smell nice from the actual real rosemary bushes and lavender bushes. Sometimes they would just lay their clothes over the bushes or put little sprigs of those herbs on their clothes to absorb the aroma of those into the clothes. So rather than using the fake scents of citrus and springtime and lavender, why not just use the real lavender? Imagine. Okay, so like we did with the bathroom, here's a list of a couple of common toxic things that are in your laundry detergents. Most of them I've gone through before, so I will just touch on them. Again, they're very dangerous and toxic. So sodium lauryl sulfate. Not only is it in your bathroom, it's also in your laundry room. Again, SLS is its acronym. It's a foaming agent or a surfactant to make all those nice sudsy things that we like or associate with cleanliness. And there are many health problems that are associated with this chemical, from skin irritation to organ toxicity. Dioxane, which I mentioned before, which is horrible, 1,4-dioxane. The majority of top known, very commonly known brands of laundry detergents contain this. And I've talked about this before. It's a petrochemical and it's a known carcinogen. It's known to cause cancer. Why would you want to wash your clothes in it and then wearing the residue of that on your skin all day long? This is a byproduct contaminant of a manufacturing process, and it is not required to be listed on labels. So there you go. Another nasty thing is in your laundry detergent. It's a thing called LAS, is its acronym. Linear alky benzene sulfonates. Lovely word. I'll spell it for you. LINEAR ALKY BENZENE SULFONATES. This is another synthetic petrochemical. Notice how so many of these toxic carcinogenic chemicals come from petroleum. It biodegrades slowly into the environment, causing problems there for all the animals and the fish and plants and microorganisms in our environment. And it also causes cancer. Okay, the next one, the acronym for that is NPE. Nonylphenol ethoxylate. Okay, I killed that word. Okay, I'll spell it for you. NONYLPHENOL ETHOXYLATE. Yet again, another petrochemical. This banned in Europe and Canada, but of course here in the United States, they say roll in it, swim in it. Something that will cause liver and kidney damage. It's biodegradable, but when it breaks down in the environment, it breaks down into more toxic substances. So again, we damage the environment with this. Okay, the next one that is in detergents is petroleum distillates. I've talked about petroleum so much. This one is also known as naphthas, NAPTHAS. It's again derived from synthetic crude oil or petroleum. It's linked to cancer and lung damage, and it damages the mucous membranes, like in your lungs and your sinus passages in your nose. So, again, notice how so many of these are cancer-causing in your laundry detergent, and they're from petroleum. Artificial fragrances, it's like an umbrella term that could be any type of a toxic stew of chemicals, linked to various kinds of toxic effects in fish and mammals. It can cause allergies, skin and eye irritations in you and your children and your family. Right, the last thing in laundry detergents is called phosphates. No, not only is this found commonly used in fertilizers, but it's used in laundry detergent to prevent dirt from settling back down into the clothes after being washed. And this can cause irregular or unbalanced growth in marine plants that upset the ecosystem, damage the environment. So I would think that a lot of what's known about those is because of the phosphate damage, is because it's so readily used in agriculture with fertilizers. But when it's washed down the drain into the water table, water supply, and then it goes out into the environment, it's still going to wreak havoc there too, from what we do to it. So there you go. Nasty, horrible things in your laundry detergent. So what to do instead? That's the big question at this point. So that's the laundry list of, speaking of laundry detergent, we ended on that note. That's the chemical rundown, the most commonly known chemicals that we're aware of that are in all these different products, from mascara to toothpaste to baby wipes to laundry detergent to dishwashing soap to furniture polish. I mean, everything, everywhere. It's overwhelming when you look at it. However, there are other solutions. And so I've gone through this list of the icky, nasty stuff. And so now in the next video, then I'll turn the tide of the conversation to what you can do instead. Whether it's make it yourself or things that you can look for on ingredient labels of brands that aren't so well known, but yet they're clean brands. So support them by putting your money into those brands of products, or even making them yourself so that you don't expose yourself to so much toxic load. And, take better care of yourself, your family, your children, your environment, the earth that we live on. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this video, that it enlightened you a bit and shown you some things of what to look for, and to really promote some thoughts, some thinking, some new decisions for you so that you can create a healthier lifestyle. All right. So again, my name is Laura Lee Humphreys with Faces of Freedom, helping you find freedom from toxic load and things that make you ill. All right. So take care, and we'll see you in the next video.